Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness into light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. So this is the first formal session of the retreat. Yesterday I shared some introductory remarks. Vedanta, it's really remarkable how such a vast body of knowledge can be compressed into a single sentence. Something like Tattvamasi, you are that. Or Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. All of Vedanta is included in this. If somebody asks you, what's this Vedanta you're studying? And he would say, you are that. I mean, the other guy wouldn't get anything out of it, but still, you wouldn't be wrong. All of Vedanta is indeed included. Nobody would dispute it. The greatest of scholars and the greatest of philosophers and the monks and masters, enlightened ones, they would all agree, yes, you are that. That's what Vedanta is. So it's amazing that such a vast body of knowledge, it can be compressed, genuinely, authentically compressed into a single sentence. These are the so-called Mahavakyas, the great sentences or the profound utterances. They are just sentences selected from the Upanishads. Tattvamasi, you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness itself is the ultimate reality, Brahman. I am Atma Brahma. This very self is Brahman. And these are just a sampling. There are many more such sentences. What criterion do you have to meet for a sentence to become a Mahavakya? There's a definition. Jiva Brahma Aikya. That sentence which denotes or teaches the oneness of the sentient being and Brahman, the ultimate reality. There's an ultimate reality of this whole universe. It is being itself. It is consciousness itself. It is bliss itself. Sat-chit-ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. And I've remarked elsewhere, what a remarkable formulation that is. Existence, consciousness, bliss. If you look at philosophy, the greatest questions which can be asked in philosophy, what's the nature of reality? What is real? That is the whole branch of philosophy called metaphysics or ontology. How do you know anything? How is knowledge possible? That's the branch of philosophy called epistemology. And what's the point of anything? What's the value of anything? What can we hope for in life? What's the goal of life, if anything at all? That's the branch of philosophy known as axiology, which studies values, ethics, beauty, aesthetics, all of that. And it just struck me a couple of years, 2 or 3 years back, something as truth that was staring at us all the time. Look at the formulation of Brahman, Sat-chit-ananda, the ultimate existence of ultimate reality, according to Vedanta. Sat-chit-ananda. It answers to these 3 questions. The question of metaphysics or ontology. What is real? Sat, being. Existence itself is reality. And how do we know anything? How is knowledge possible? Consciousness, chit. What is the point of anything at all? Is there a point? And if so, what is the point of it all? What is there at the end of it all? Is there a goal, a purpose, a value, something that we can take away from all this, from life? Yes, Vedanta says a strong yes. And what is that yes? Ananda, bliss. And it goes further to say that Brahman, the ultimate reality according to Vedanta, is, these are not 3. They are just one. They are not even aspects of one. They are not properties or qualities of one. They are just one. The same thing which is pure bliss, is pure consciousness, is pure existence. That which is being, is consciousness, is existence. Sat is chit, is ananda. And Vedanta goes further to say that Sat-chit-ananda, you are. You are that Sat-chit-ananda. So this is this grand equation of Vedanta. Atman is Brahman. That's the whole of Vedanta. And all of this can be compressed in a single sentence. It's amazing. Swami Tattwamayananda, who is the head of the Vedanta Society of Northern California, few months back, in a conversation, just a casual conversation, he told me something beautiful. He said, the beauty of Vedanta is that the entire ocean can be compressed, condensed into a drop. And the drop can be expanded into the ocean. And the skill of the teacher, he said, depends on condensing the ocean into a drop and expanding the drop into the ocean. How beautifully put. All these Upanishads, which are the sources of Vedanta, even the biggest ones like the Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya, they do not contain anything more than which is contained in the smallest of the Upanishads, the shortest, the Mandukya, with only 12 mantras. And all of that can also be compressed into, Sankaracarya says, into half a verse, not even a whole verse. You know, it's all written in verses, in poetry. So imagine a whole philosophy, extremely subtle thinking, done in good poetry, not just bad poetry, good poetry. I'm reminded of an experience I had in 2020 actually, 2019, late 2019, at Harvard, the Harvard Divinity School. We were studying Madhyamaka Buddhism, the Buddhist school of emptiness, from the Tibetan perspective, the Tibetan school of Madhyamaka. It's Indo-Tibetan Buddhism. And we had a tough taskmaster, Professor Garfield, J. Garfield. He is a well-known authority on Tibetan Buddhism. So as they do, professors, at the end of the term, they'll give you an assignment. So he said, you have to write a 25-page essay. And he's really a tough taskmaster. He says assignment submitted in his class must be at the level of, it should be ready to be published in a peer-reviewed journal. Yeah, and he means it. He means it, really. And he puts all of us through the ringer. I mean, you can be sure that whatever you submit is going to get tossed out immediately. You have to submit it and resubmit it and resubmit it until, I had to do it thrice until he was ready. The first time I submitted my essay, he said, what do you think this is? A Vedanta temple talk? This is a paper submitted at Harvard University. So I redid it. He tossed it out again. Then I rereaded it. And then he said, this is a solid defense of Vedanta against the dialectics of the emptiness school of Buddhism. Anyway, so at the beginning, when he said 25-page essay, on what? On nothing. Because emptiness, after all, emptiness. And all students being students, everybody groaned and said, that's too much, 25 pages, make it shorter, like 10 pages or 12 pages. And he said, okay, I'll make it 12 pages. You can write a 12-page assignment, but the condition is it has to be in verse, in poetry. Everybody went, oh, no, that's impossible. And then he said, just think about it. All these ancient texts we have been studying, whether, Hindu, Buddhist, Vedanta, Nyaya, but whatever, all of these texts, almost all of them are in poetry, in verse. Imagine the skill of precise, extremely precise, hyper-logical thinking expressed in poetry. So Shankaracharya says all these verses I'm going to condense into half a verse. All Vedanta, all these verses into half a verse. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. Brahman is real. The world is an appearance. And we go, what about me? Am I real or an appearance? He says, don't worry, you are real. You are Brahman. You are the ultimate reality. Brahman is the reality. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. The world is an appearance of what? Of Brahman. The way we see the world, this is not real, but the reality is right here. Because the reality is appearing in this way. The famous blue sky. You can see out there. Startling blue sky. But it's not blue. We know that. It looks blue. Even after you know that it's not blue, when you look at it, it still looks blue. Similarly, Brahman, this world is really Brahman, but Brahman is appearing as this world. That's why the world is called false, false in itself. Not that there's nothing. There is Brahman. There is the ultimate reality right here, right now, and all the time, and everywhere. And it is you. Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. Jiva, you the sentient being, us. We are the ultimate reality of this universe. We are the ultimate reality. So Shankaracharya says, I can condense whole of Vedanta into this. You can go further. You can condense it even into a shorter formulation. You are that, Tattvamasi. You can go further. You can condense it to something shorter. Just Om. Just the Om. Those who have studied Mandukya Upanishad, you know. The whole thing is Om. It can be expanded, like the drop being expanded into all of Vedanta. Mandukya Upanishad is Om. You expand it, and you expand it further. It becomes all the Upanishads and everything. So Om. Or you can go even, make it even more brief. You need not say anything at all. Just a gesture will do. Yeah, the Chin Mudra. I love this Chin Mudra. This is called a Mudra. Mudra means hand gestures. And so they are gestures with a lot of significance. You will see the worshippers in Hindu puja, but then I've seen they do it in Buddhist puja, the Mahayana Buddhist pujas also. So there's tremendous crossover there. Various mudras are there. This is one, the Chin Mudra, but there are many others. This is one. This is another. This is a more complicated one. And there are even more complicated ones, like this, for example. Yeah, like this. So they are all, don't do it. I've done it, but I can't come out of it now. It's locked. So the Chin Mudra is particularly profound. This one. What it means is, this is the ego, I, the ego, I. Right now what it means is, what is it referring to? It's referring to the body. The physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Physical body, of course, is this, here. The subtle body is what we see inside thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, our personality. That's your subtle body. It's also a body, it's not really you. And there's something called the causal body. We know in Vedanta what it is, but if you don't know, don't worry, you can let it rest for the time being. The physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body, that's what we usually mean by I. It's not something to be practiced or done. In fact, it's a problem. This is a labeling of our problem, that we think we are this. We don't even give it a second thought. We don't look this way, we all look that way, out into the world, at other people. We never inquire into what we truly are, because we think we know. If we didn't know, that would still be okay, because if you don't know something, you can inquire and find out. But the problem is, we think we know. And what do we know? This. And what is Vedanta telling you? You are not the physical body. The physical body is there, clearly, but you are not it. You are not even the mental body, this personality with which we are utterly identified. We cling to it as if as if it's a life and death thing. Curiously, every night we lose it. When you go into sleep, when you stop dreaming, the personality is gone. It's just blank, nothing left. You are still there as the witness of the blank, but you are not the personality at all. It just feels like nothing. And when we wake up, we clutch it to ourselves. Charlie Brown had this blanket, this comfort blanket. Would hold on to a blanket. Little children hold on to a blanket. Huh? Which one? Linus, not Charlie Brown. That's the cartoon. But Linus was the one who had the blanket. It's our blanket. What's our blanket? Our mind and our thoughts, our desires, our grudges, our complaints, our history. This is who I am. Even if I don't like it, even if that's the source of my problem, I will not, for life, I will not let it go. But Vedanta says you are not it. Even if you clutch onto it, you are not it. You exist happily, freely, without it. You let go of it every night. Not in terror and tear. Where is it all going away? Oh God, I'm falling asleep again. No, you're happy you're falling asleep. You're happy it's all going away. All right. And the causal body. I am not them. I am, what am I? I am consciousness, existence, consciousness, bliss. I am Brahman. So that same, you are that. This is the meaning of you are that. Once the ego is freed from this, then it becomes clear. We will see. It will become clear that I am pure consciousness, pure being, pure bliss. This is the meaning of Shankaracharya when he sings. I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the memory. Mano vadhyahankara chittani naham. It means this. What is that mind, intellect, memory and all that stuff? That's the subtle body, this one. I am none of them. Nacha shrotra jivhe, nacha grana netra. I am not the senses, the five senses. Nacha vyoma bhumi, na tejo na vayu. I am not the body made of the five elements. So I am not these. So I have detached myself from. Detached means in our understanding, in our worldview. I am not, they are there, but I am not them. Then the question arises, what am I? Before this, the question did not arise, what am I? Because I was quite sure what I am. I am this. But now I am not sure anymore. These are all objects of my perception. These are things, machines, tools. It's the SUV I drive around. Clearly, I am not my SUV. So, this is the example in the Kathopanishad, the chariot. So then I am not this chariot. I am not this SUV. Then what am I? And it will become clear, I am consciousness. So this Chinmudra also, it expresses exactly the same thing. Or you can go even further. Just silence. Maunam Vyakhyanam. Upashantoyam Atma. Maunam Vyakhyanam means the teaching is in silence. In one of the hymns of Shankaracharya, it is said, the students are elderly, the teacher is young. The teaching is in silence and the students' doubts are dissolved. Dakshinamurti Stotram, it's there. And you can see it clearly in the case of Shankaracharya, where he's young and his students, most of them were older than him. You can clearly see it in the case of Ramana Maharshi, where often he would sit in silence and the doubts of those who gathered around him would be dissolved. So silence also. All of Vedanta can be compressed into silence, or into this, Chinmudra, or into Om, or you expand further, Tattvamasi, you are that. Or you expand further, Brahma Satyam Jiva Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. Brahman is real, the world is an appearance, and you are none other than Brahman. And you can expand further and further, books and books and books are all there. And but the whole thing of Vedanta, you can say that the Mahavakya, you are that. All of Vedanta is a development of that Mahavakya. So this text, for example, the Mahavakya, the you are that, it comes from one of the Upanishads, the Chandogya Upanishad, the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad, where 9 times the teacher, who is also the father of the student, tells the student that you are that. Now all books, Vedanta books, they're basically an expansion of the Mahavakya. What is the drop? It is the Mahavakya, the sentence, you are that. What's the expansion into the ocean? That's the book, or the books and books, the whole library itself. So is this book, which I've picked. I said, quite apart from the root texts of Vedanta, Upanishads, Gita, Brahma Sutras, apart from them, if there is one later Vedantic text, Shankara and post-Shankara works, which is representative of Vedanta, it would be this, the Vivekacudamani. There are controversies on whether the original Shankaracharya wrote it, or he did not write it, or later Shankaracharyas wrote it. Whatever it is, it's a genuine book of Vedanta, very, very much admired, valued in the tradition. In the lineage, it's valued, and in the lineage, it is held without any doubt to be a work of the original Shankaracharya. 580 verses. We will go into that. But little background into what is this Vedantic meditation. We know that in Vedanta the method is hearing, reflection, meditation. In Sanskrit, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. This too comes from the Upanishads. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya, the master, is telling his wife, Atma vare drashtabhya. My dear, the Atman has to be realized or seen, literally seen. Our real nature has to be seen. How do you see it? Not with these eyes. How do you see it? Shrotabhya, mantavya, nididhyasitavya. It should be heard about, it should be reflected upon, and it should be meditated upon. So that's how you see it. How do you see it? You hear about it, you reflect upon it, you meditate upon it. Then what happens? You see it. See it means you realize it, you know it, quote unquote know it. You realize, oh, I am this. A shift takes place. That is enlightenment. It's a shift. Shift in what? Shift in the meaning of the word I. Each word has a meaning. The word book has this meaning. I like that incident with a great philosopher, Wittgenstein. He holds up a chalk in class and he says, "What is this?" And somebody said in the class, "That's a chalk, professor." And Wittgenstein threw the chalk at that guy. I don't know if he hit the poor fellow. And he said, "Chalk is a word. That which hit you, is that a word?" So, what is the meaning of the word? That's the important thing. What is the meaning of the word book? This thing. What is the meaning of the word shirt? This thing. What's the meaning of the word I? Till now we are very sure what the meaning was. This thing. But now we are being forced to change it. How are we being forced to change it? By coming to see that we are not this and coming to see what we truly are. So what will be the shift? The shift is I means this body-mind, that is our initial position, and the end position will be I means I am pure consciousness. I am existence consciousness bliss. In the Panchadashi, another well-known text of post-Shankara Vedanta, written about 600 years after this book, it says the word I has three meanings. One meaning for the unenlightened and two meanings for the enlightened. Three meanings. One meaning for the unenlightened. What is the meaning for the unenlightened? This. I am this. What is this? It is I. What are you? This. So this is the first meaning of the word I. There are two meanings of the word I for the enlightened. What are those two meanings? One is the primary meaning, I am Brahman, I am pure consciousness. They are very clear about this, the enlightened ones. They have no doubt about it. I am not this mortal body, I am not this ever-changing mind. I am the Chit-ananda Rupa Shivoham, I am Shiva, I am pure consciousness, I am bliss. And the second meaning for the enlightened ones is I am this body-mind, but it's very different from the way we regard this body-mind, because for us it's just gospel truth, I am this. But for the enlightened ones, it is a secondary usage for the sake of dealing with the world. It's like when we ride the SUV, we know we are not the SUV. We are not like that crazy guy who thinks he is the SUV. We are not the SUV. It's just, we are riding it. We are using it. Similarly, the enlightened one, if you say that, for example, that guy cut me off. Cut me off means cut my car off in front, cut me off. So I am using as if I am the car in that sense. But I know it's secondary. I don't mean it that way. Similarly, the enlightened one, this body, will talk just like us, behave just like us, will not talk in weird ways. Sometimes people think when you're enlightened, you have to talk in weird ways. Yeah. I get these emails as this, I who am the limitless consciousness shining through this particular body and mind, which is called Mishra. I offer my prostrations to you. I actually got this email. Just say I am Mishra, even if you think you are pure consciousness. And that's perfectly, it's good for you that you think you're pure consciousness. You don't have to speak that way. So because the texts say that the enlightened ones will also speak like us. Sri Ramakrishna would say, I'm going to go to Calcutta. I'm going to go and meet, Balaram or somebody, in Calcutta. I'm going to go waiting for the horse carriage to come. Who's waiting for the horse carriage to come? Who's going to Calcutta? Not pure consciousness. It's Sri Ramakrishna, the person in that body. Yes. So you can speak like that also. This is the shift from the first meaning of the I to the next two meanings of the word I. This is enlightenment. Okay, this is a little below the belt, but I can't resist this. Another email I got was, I humbly offer you my prostrate. He meant prostrations. But he wrote it with an R, prostrate. Why would you do this? What is the use of all this shift? The use is immediately obvious. There's a positive use to it and a negative use to it. The negative use is you become proof against suffering. We overcome suffering. This, our ancient project from our birth, and if you are to believe religion, then from many lifetimes, we are seeking to transcend suffering. The Buddha, Sarvam Dukkham, all is suffering, and the project is to overcome suffering. Is it possible to overcome suffering? He says, yes, it is possible. So this transcendence of suffering, it is one of the negative benefit of becoming enlightened. How would you transcend suffering? By the shift of the I? It's obvious. If I am the body, then it's obvious that I will suffer the pain with the pain in the body. If I am the body, then it's obvious that the hunger in the body, the thirst in the body is my hunger and thirst. If I am the body, the aging of the body is my aging. The slowing down of the body is my slowing down. And the slow loss of capacities of the organs of the body is my loss. I am deteriorating. And the body will die one day. There's no doubt about it. Nobody has ever overcome death. Vivekananda says, fools die and the wise die, learned die. Kings die and paupers die. Saints die and sinners die. Death comes for everybody. Physical death. So if I'm the body, I'm going to die. However, if I've shifted the reference of the word I, if I'm not the body will still die. But the aging of the body is not my aging. I am that awareness which experiences the aging of the body. The wrinkles in my skin are not my wrinkles. Awareness doesn't have wrinkles. Pure being doesn't have wrinkles. In fact, even the wrinkles depend on pure being for their existence. So I am not old, or I am not wrinkled. I am the slowing down and the decay of the capacities of the body is not my slowing down. So you begin to see how you transcend suffering if you realize you are not the body. And even more so, the mind. The real source of our suffering is the mind. And if I am the witness of the mind, I am not the mind. I am not the dramas which are played on the movie screen of the mind. I am not its emotional entanglements, its anxieties, its fears, its grudges, its little tale. It was Shakespeare, right? A tale of what? No, a tale full of sound and fury. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. A tale told by an idiot? Yes, a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. What a terrible, terrible indictment of human life. If that's all we have, no matter what your tale, no matter how it is important to me, it matters nothing to people around you, even now, and far less than nothing once we are gone. It's simply forgotten. Simply forgotten. Utterly forgotten by the universe. Signifying nothing. But if I am not that little body and mind, if I am this witness consciousness, then I continue to shine before this body and after this body. By the activities of the mind, and when the mind is shut down also, I am still there. So I transcend suffering. I look within myself and see, as I am, as this witness consciousness, there is no suffering. I can honestly say that. I am the calm in the midst of the storm, the eye of the storm. And the positive benefit of it, that fulfillment, bliss, genuine, deep, lasting happiness that you get. Not an happiness depending on certain circumstances in the world. If this is my bank balance, my stock portfolio, and my number of Facebook likes, and then I will be happy in this situation. A little different from that, I won't be happy. And then you're going to be unhappy. Our happiness is such a delicate thing. It's also biological. Notice, everything may be fine with the body. One little prick of a thorn, and our entire attention goes there. Toothache, one toothache, and we are totally, completely miserable. So, and there's a reason, biological reason for that. 99% of things may be going well. If just a little bit goes bad, we are not happy anymore. So we are very, very unlikely to be happy if our happiness depends on circumstances in the world, in the body, in the mind. No, we will not be happy. Whereas if we shift this happiness which we are getting by realizing I am limitless existence, consciousness, bliss, it is my very nature. And I will find it, this happiness, everywhere, all the time, effortlessly so. Not dependent on other people, not dependent on the behavior of others. One cognitive behavior therapist, CBT therapist, he says, there are these propositions in our mind. For example, everyone must be unceasingly nice to me all the time. You're laughing. We'll say that's ridiculous. We'll never do. No, that's what we want. Although we would never say such a thing, we never write down such a thing, but that's the way we behave. If one person is suddenly unaccountably nasty to us, it should be nothing. 99 people were nice to me for the last 99 days. If today one person is unaccountably, utterly nasty to me, it should be fine. No, it is not. Vivekananda says, slave to a good word, slave to a bad word, slave to this slightest change of circumstances. That's how delicate our minds are. No, our fulfillment lies much deeper than this, and we get that when we become enlightened. When we make that shift of the eye from this to this. Proof of all this, you talk a good talk. What's the proof? Proof, first and foremost proof, is the lives of the saints in every tradition across the world, not just Advaita Vedanta. Look at their lives. You will know two things. You never see them grumbling, even in the midst of difficulties. And you see them happy, unaccountably so. Why are they so happy? Joyful. Something spontaneously joyful within them. Isn't that really valuable? Sri Krishna says to Arjuna in the Gita, what's there to gain? What do we gain out of all of this? Yang labdhva chaparam labham manyate tato adhikam. Having gotten which, you realize there's nothing greater in life to get than this. This is the greatest thing in life. This is the prize for which all life exists according to Vedanta. This is what we are all racing towards, knowingly or unknowingly. All our experiences in life are leading us to that moment of realization. And yasmin sthito dukkhena guruna pena vichalyate. Sri Krishna says in the Gita, the negative side of it, centered in which the heaviest of sorrows will not shake you. This we are putting it in a very philosophical way, elegant, minimalistic way. But religion in general promises this. All of this, what you see, the cross and all of that, that's the promise of all religion. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Jainism, all other varieties of tremendously diverse Hinduism, all of it, bhakti, yoga, seva, all of these spiritual paths, they promise you this. Transcendence of suffering and attainment of deep and lasting fulfillment. Now, how do you get it? How do you make that shift from the I, body, mind, to the I, this pure consciousness? By an inquiry into the Mahavakya. You are that, an inquiry into that. What do you mean inquiry into that? Into the meaning of that, an analysis of that. And the meaning of that, the analysis of that starts with you, with ourselves. Because the shift has to take place in the meaning of this. From here to here. How do you shift this? Not physically. You can't take your eye out of this and put it in pure being, no. It has to be done by a shift in understanding, shift in our sense of the reality of what we are. The shift in understanding must be accompanied by a shift in our sense of reality of it also. What do I mean by that? Otherwise it will be a theoretical shift. Otherwise, I say, okay, I've understood something about myself, but my life continues. It's still the same life. Most importantly, a good barometer, a check is, have I gotten the benefits which were promised? Am I better able to transcend the sufferings in my life? Do I have a deep fulfillment in my life? No, then in that case it hasn't happened yet. There's something that needs to be done. So usually what needs to be done is to convert the understanding into reality. Is to convert the shift in intellect. This intellectual shift has been done, but not the reality shift. In reality, I still feel like this. The reality should be, I feel like this. Then only I can say, I am Brahman, or at least tell myself honestly. So how do you do this? 3 steps. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Hearing, reflection, meditation. What are they and what do they do? The first one, hearing, is when you hear the teachings from the master. It means basically systematically studying Vedanta. Systematically studying what? Studying the Upanishads, studying the Gita, studying the Brahma Sutras with their commentaries and associated texts. Studying this. See, that's a long list, Swami. You're lucky. You can take any book. Each one of them is capable of giving you full enlightenment. But we take many because we need to work on ourselves from many different angles. The same truth is literally the same teaching. What if you have attended one retreat in Vedanta, you have attended all of them. If the retreats are well taught, you will be able to see easily that although that was taught in different language, different book, different framework, this is a different framework and a different book, it's telling me the exactly same thing. And if you see that, then it's your credit, it's the teacher's credit also. Yeah, we are seeing that that's what it's telling us, and that's good. It's good if you see that all these books are telling me the same thing. If they're telling me different things, then you can write a nice essay for Harvard comparatively, but you will not be enlightened. You're way off the mark then. So an inquiry into you are that, the teaching, you are that. All these books are an expansion of the you are that, explains that. So inquiry into what am I? Basically what Vedanta does is tries to point out that you are not the body-mind, and apart from body-mind, you are the witness consciousness. It's easy and it's difficult at the same time. It's easy because in one sense it's pretty obvious. We'll see today. It's pretty obvious. In the next session we'll see. It's difficult because of long ingrained habit of thinking of ourselves as body-mind. It's also difficult because it's too utterly simple. Can it be this simple? It is actually. So that's why it's a little difficult. We'll see. And we can keep working at it. And there's no greater joy than to keep working at this, because it's your, and every little attempt also, it gives you peace, increasing peace, joy, meaning in life. Meaning in life, strength in life. Then what happens is, when we inquire into the nature of who am I, we begin to get some understanding. Then we run up against problems. Problems would be, how am I not the body-mind? Why are you saying I'm not the body-mind? But I feel I'm the body-mind. Can you help me to see why I'm not the body-mind? And why do you say I'm pure consciousness? Why do you say that the world is an appearance? The 3 parts of the teaching. Brahman is real. What is Brahman? How is it real? The world seems real to me. Where is this Brahman? It's like the child who went to see the cinema, the movie for the first time. There's a big movie screen, like the screen which comes down from there. There's a movie screen and a film is played on it. The father explained this to the child. That's what a movie is. There'll be a screen and there'll be pictures on the screen, and that's called a movie or a film. So they enter the movie hall when the movie has already started. And that's our condition, unfortunately. If we had seen it from the beginning of we wouldn't be so easily confused. But we enter in the middle of, mom and dad are there, school is there, and kindergarten is there, everything is there ready for me. So the movie, we are thrust into the middle of a movie, unfortunately. And the child gets absorbed in the movie as we do for a while, and then asks the father, where's the screen? And the father said, there. That's the screen. But that's just Luke Skywalker. No. Behind the Luke Skywalker. Oh, that's just the spaceship. No. Behind all of them. You mean it's the sky? No, just remove all of it. You mean the screen is nothing? No, it's all of it. Oh, you mean it's the sky, the space, and the planets and stars and spaceships and Luke Skywalker, all of it is the screen. How will the father explain to the child what the screen is? Because wherever the father points, there's a picture, and the child takes the picture to be. The father can point to Luke Skywalker and say, that's the screen. But the child does not understand the screen. The child understands Luke Skywalker. The screen is right there. In Aparoksha Anubhuti, Sankaracarya says, Sarva vyavaharastu brahmana kriyate janai ajnanat na pashyanti. All our activities, all the time, we are immersed in an ocean of limitless light, but we don't see it. It's like a child who was promised candy by his dad, and after that he says, well, give me the candy. And dad says, here, take a Hershey. No, I don't want a Hershey, I want candy. And then says, okay, take a Kit Kat. I don't want a Kit Kat, you promised candy. I don't want what? Ferrero Rocher, whatever. All sorts of chocolates. And he says, no, I want candy. There, look, here it is, C's candy. No, I don't want C's candy, I want candy. Now, is the child doing the right thing or wrong thing? He's doing a wrong thing. He's missing out candy all the time, but he doesn't see that. He goes in for the name, the brand, and he's missing out that all of that is actually candy. Similarly, for the enlightened one, all of this is Brahman. For us, we don't see. You said it makes no sense. You just now said Brahman is eternal. Is this table eternal? How can it be Brahman? Brahman is eternal. Is that tree out there eternal? How can Brahman is limitless everywhere? So this rock, is it everywhere? No, it's just there. How can it be Brahman? We miss it. For the enlightened one, doesn't miss it. All the time present. So we have these doubts. And these doubts are to be resolved through a process called mananam, reflection. Reflection deals with our common sense doubts and deals with sophisticated doubts by philosophers, other schools of thought. There are dualistic schools, multiple schools of thought. They all have their views. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, the main schools of Buddhism, the Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Yogachara, Vijnanavada, Shunyavada, Madhyamaka, the Jaina schools, so many, the materialists, they all have sophisticated arguments against your point of view. You have to cut down those points of view also to the satisfaction of the seeker. And then that is one of the tasks of mananam. Mananam means reflection. So answer the questions which come to us automatically, answers those questions which we wouldn't think about in 1,000 years. I said this earlier also. On the front of the gates of Belur Math, our main monastery, this was about 25 years ago. No, more than that, nearly 30 years ago. I was, after one of my initial classes, a senior monk, I was walking with him, Swami Atma Priyanandaji, and I said, sort of nervously, I have a question. And he said, ask away, whatever question you want. The brains far better than yours for centuries have asked the most difficult questions, and in Advaita Vedanta we have answers to account for all of that. So you ask whatever you want, don't be afraid that Vedanta will come crashing down because you ask a question. You ask, go ahead and ask questions. I think by that time I'd forgotten the question, what the question was. Now that reminds me, we had a teacher in one of our colleges who was very dramatic. He was this towering man with a big mustache and big glowing eyes. I remember once a student asked a question in college. Sir, I have a doubt. And this professor, he glared and towered over him and said, ask, dear boy, ask. I shall endeavor to root out by the, endeavor to pull out by the very roots all your doubts and throw them out of the window. And the poor kid, he looked, I think he forgot the question. So no, inquiry into all the questions and answering them until we get clarity. See, what's the difference between Shravana and Manana? Hearing, the study of Vedanta, and the phase of reasoning. At the end of the study of Vedanta, what can we claim? When do we claim that I have studied Vedanta? When I know the contents of these books. You can't just escape by saying, oh, I know it already, it's you are that. No, you have to explain what is the meaning of what is you, what is that, and how you are that, all of that. So once you know it, you know the contents. I know what Vedanta teaches. Then good, congratulations. The first step is more or less over. Over means you have to keep going through it, but now my problem is there are many things I don't get. Then you are in the second stage. The second stage will be completed when all doubts, all contradictions are resolved to your satisfaction. When you say, now I not only know the teachings of Vedanta, I have clarity. I get it now. I'm convinced. I have clarity and conviction. It has been demonstrated to my satisfaction that what is being taught in Vedanta does not go against perception. You can say, what Brahman everywhere? I don't see it. Where is it? I don't see it. Like the child, you see, I don't see the screen. All he's seeing is the screen. But he says, I don't see the screen. Like the child who says, I want candy. You're giving, what are you giving me? Well, he is getting candy, but he doesn't see it. So, it is not against perception. The child may say, I don't see candy, I just see a Hershey or a Kit Kat. The child may say, I see Luke Skywalker, a spaceship. I don't see the screen. To the father who knows what the screen is or what candy is, you are seeing candy, you are seeing the screen. So it does not contradict what you are seeing. If I say what you are seeing is the screen and the child says, no, what I am seeing is Luke Skywalker and a spaceship. It is not contradicting what you are seeing. So what we are seeing, perception, does not contradict the teachings of Vedanta. In fact, Vedanta, the same Brahman, makes perception possible. It's because of this pure consciousness that we have the experience of perceiving anything at all. All right. It does not contradict reason. It's not unreasonable to say, it's not something crazy to say that you are Brahman or I am Brahman. No, it's perfectly reasonable. It does not contradict science. It does not contradict the Upanishads or Gita. Other schools will say, no, Gita or the Upanishads, they teach dualism. You're teaching non-dualism. It contradicts. It does not contradict. And those are huge areas of discussion. There's where logic is necessary, grammar is necessary, what is called hermeneutics, textual interpretation is necessary. There are big areas of study. You don't have to do all of that. Just to the point, you say, Swami, we don't have those questions. Can you go along? You're just confusing us with those questions. No, one need not have those questions, but one must have clarity to the extent that when those questions are thrown at you, you don't get confused. Any question, if you do understand the question, you will also understand the meaning of it. The solution, the answer to it also. That kind of clarity one should have. But even after this, a final problem, all of this I'm setting the stage for Vedantic meditation, non-dual meditation. Still a problem remains. I have learned Vedanta, I am convinced about it, I have clarity, I can explain stuff to you, Swami, but it does not still, I am not getting the benefits which were promised. The transcendence of suffering, that effortless flow of joy and peace, I'm not getting it. I still get depressed. I still get shaken. I get angry. My issues are still there. These are mostly emotional issues, mostly emotional entanglements. And they have to be dealt with. The shift, this from here to here, it's taken place intellectually. But it's not a reality shift. It doesn't feel real. This feeling real is very important. We behave according to what we consider what feels real. That's how we behave. I remember seeing that movie, many of you must have seen it, Beautiful Mind, Schizophrenia. So he sees all sorts of things which don't exist. And he behaves accordingly. And we are in tune with him for a part, and the initial part of the movie is shown from his perspective. That he is being chased by government agents, he hallucinates that little girl. He's not hallucinating, he sees that little girl and a government agent coming, and all sorts of things are there in the story. All of them we see from his perspective, and then we see these people chasing him and catching hold of him. It's like he's being kidnapped. John Nash, the mathematician. And then when he's given those awful shock treatments and everything, then we suddenly realize what's going on. He sees all that and that's his reality, but it's a schizophrenic reality. Why does he behave that way? Because he behaves according to what seems real to him. He's responding to what seems real to him. We tend to respond to what seems real to us. As long as this seems real to us, we will continue to behave as we always have. It will be very difficult for us to behave as if I'm not body-mind. It will be an as if. Very difficult. But if this becomes the reality, it will become much easier. Still not completely easy because of past habits, but if at least this reality is accessible to us, then okay. That's the job of Vedantic meditation. Let me give you the precise job of Vedantic meditation. What's the job of Shravana, Vedantic hearing? To give us knowledge, this teaching, this pointing out that you are this, not this. What's the job of Vedantic reasoning, Mananam? To clarify our doubts, give us clarity, give us conviction. What's the job of Vedantic meditation? To make the shift feel real so that we can, precisely, that we can get the benefits which were promised. The benefits are being obstructed. There are three kinds of obstructions. One obstruction is a doubt regarding what is the teaching of Vedanta. Second obstruction is a doubt regarding this can't be real. Third obstruction is contrary tendencies. Okay. First obstruction is removed by hearing, study. Second obstruction is removed by reasoning, mananam. Third obstruction is contrary tendencies, the tendency to keep on behaving the way we always have been, thinking and feeling the way we always have been. That is removed by Vedantic meditation. So Vedantic meditation is not to make you Brahman. You are Brahman already. It's not even to acquaint you with your nature as Brahman. That already the hearing part has done. It's not even to convince you that you're Brahman. That's already hopefully been done by the reasoning part of it. It is to immerse us, to show us that is already the reality. Not just to convince us, not just to inform us, but to show us it's already the reality and to soak our minds in it in such a way that there's a shift, that we then get the benefit of it. Truly as Brahman, truly as existence consciousness bliss, we can honestly claim, even with the aging of the body, even with the sickness of the body, even with however people behave, even with the ups and downs of the stock market, whatever our problems outside or internally in the mind, I am fine. Honestly take a, not stoically, not being a tough guy, as a matter of fact. Hey, it's okay. I can see that it's okay. That's great. Because stoicism, being stoic or being tough, it has limits. Life can wear you down. Even the strongest person, when they are 80 or 90 years old and sick and worn out, the resistance to pain goes away. Even the calmest person, we put them in the midst of teach kindergarten. By the end of the day, the resistance will go away. We had this monk, a senior monk, he's passed away, so I can tell this story. He had the sweetest hello you would ever hear. When the phone would ring in those days, the landlines would ring, he would, in the morning, he would say, hello. And by afternoon, it would be, yes. So it's getting worn away, all the sweetness. That's what happens to us in life. Now what do you do? What is this Vedantic meditation? What will we do? You have to sit with the clarity already obtained. Now, what is that clarity? Don't worry, we'll give that to you also in the next session. We say, if I'm asking, have you come with the clarity? You say, no. Then Vedantic meditation will not work. It will not work if you don't have that clarity. But that clarity is not difficult to point out. Most of us here, we have been in Vedanta for a long time. So we're going to skip ahead. But don't worry. It'll, even if you're coming for the first time, it shouldn't be difficult. But if you're coming again and again, as many of us, so we have heard it many times, so it's familiar to us. With that clarity, you have to sit. And here, it becomes, for the first time, similar to yogic meditation. Here's where the technology of Patanjali Yoga is imported into Vedanta. Patanjali Yoga is a separate philosophical system. Advaita Vedanta is a separate philosophical system. There are enormous differences. Patanjali Yoga is a dualistic system. In their system, it's a very neat dualism. There is matter, energy, time, space, all of it called Prakriti, nature. And there is you. What are you? Consciousness. And when you interact with matter, energy, time, space as consciousness, where does all this fancy metaphysical stuff take place? There, right there in the body. In the body, there you are consciousness, but also there is matter and energy and time and space, that the physical body is there. So this individual being, so that is Sankhya and Yoga philosophy. And their idea is to separate two things which are separate, they seem to be mixed up, to clarify the difference between you and the body-mind. You can see how it sounds similar to Vedanta. But Vedanta is not separation. Vedanta is this one, but this is just the first step in Vedanta. The second step will be all of this. The entire world itself is Brahman. It's like separating the screen from the movie. But really, you can't separate the screen from the movie. The screen can exist without the movie, but the movie can't exist without the screen. It's like separating the text from the page of the book. You can't. The print is inseparable from the page of the book. But the page of the book, of course, is separable from the print. Do you follow what we mean? It could be a blank page, and then you type something on it. So, this separation is only the first step in Vedanta. The next step will be to show wherever you experience anything, there is Brahman, there you are. You are Brahman, Brahman is everything, you are everything. This limitlessness of yourself is the end of Vedanta. From that limitlessness, from that vastness comes final peace. You cannot stop at anything less than the vast, less than the infinite. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. That which is the vast, that is happiness. Nalpe sukhamasti. There is no happiness, no true fulfillment in the limited, no matter how wonderful. There are these words in Vedanta. They contain the whole of Vedanta. Brahman. Brahman means the vast, that which expands without limit. And recently, in India, in a college, one of our Ramakrishna Mission colleges in Narendrapur, there's something called the Zero Gallery. They showed that to me. The invention of the zero in ancient India, and the concept of zero, a proto-idea of zero in different civilizations, Mayan and the Mesopotamian and so on. So it's a gallery with lots of nice charts and information. In one of the charts, the word inevitably, a Sanskrit word for zero, shunya, comes up. And I learned something new. The grammatical root of shunya, it says it comes from the Sanskrit root shvi. What does that mean? To expand without limit. I said, but this is the root of Brahman. He said, yes, of course. One of the monks told me that in fact in an ancient Buddhist Mahayana text, it is said, that which is called Brahman, that which is called Shunya, is verily the same thing. It is the same idea approached from two directions, positive and negative. So, Brahman, and yes, Shunya. Shunya, empty. Fullness and emptiness. Purnam, fullness. Even the term Vishnu means the limitless, vast. Anantam, infinity. All of these words mean the same thing. Brahman, Purnam, Vishnu, Anantam, Shunyam, all of them mean the same thing. This vast luminosity. Which vast luminosity, Swami? What are you talking about? This! I'll end with a little anecdote, and then we'll go for the next session. A little break, and we'll go for the next session. When I joined the order about 30 years, more than 30 years ago, one of my unforgettable experiences was this remarkable old monk who has passed now. He was one of the few I consider to be enlightened whom I've met in my life. His name was Swami Mokshadanandaji. He has written one book, and now one more book has come out. So one day, I went to his room. Imagine, he looked like a smaller version of Einstein with fluffy white hair, twinkling eyes, a short man. And he was elderly and suffering. He had to, several hours a day, had to be given oxygen. He would be bedridden. But always, never ever unhappy till the very end of his life. So one day I went to his room and we were talking about, I was trying to give him my idea about Vedanta, It feels that the reality is right here, but there's a veil over it. And he says to me, why a veil? Here it is. And he pointed from the window and there was a tree like this outside the window. And beyond it was the Ganges, the Ganga. Here it is, Brahman. He didn't say Brahman, he said, here it is. And I said, this window, this tree? And then he said, not quite. And then he said, all right, it'll happen in its due course. It'll happen someday. What I did was exactly what the kid did. This is the screen, that's Luke Skywalker. No, not quite. You mean Luke Skywalker is the screen? Well, not quite. So he's not the screen? Well, not quite. Whatever do you mean? You said you'd show me Brahman, you'd give me candy, but you're giving me Hershey's. So that's why I'm saying, here's the tree. What's a tree? How can it be Brahman? No. Some of you are looking puzzled. I hope by the end of this retreat you will not be puzzled. It will be pretty obvious then. Yeah. Alright. So in the next session we will dive into it. Vedantic meditation. This was the introductory session. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. All right, so we have gone 5 minutes past